As a result of my newly arranged intermittent life in Jamaica, I was thrown frequently into contact with my mother, for the first time since childhood. She and my father came to live in Jamaica for long stretches, and they occupied the old slave day place called Boston Great House. The home was surrounded with frangipani, hibiscus, pimento trees, high palms, and the stubby grass of the island, and it overlooked the blue Caribbean. But life with mother never eased. As we entered into a semi domestic relationship in Jamaica, our opportunities for tension increased. Mother didn't like it when I tossed a cat around the room and it knocked over and broke a lot of her prized crockery. But cats never seemed to get hurt in a toss like that, and when this cat crawled all over my face as I slept, I simply reacted. She nearly had a seizure when she heard I liked to go nude bathing at Boston Beach. Not only would she insist on advising me in my motion picture affairs, but she took a hand in all my business activities, like the running of the Titchfield Hotel, which I owned for a time. For one thing, she believed that people who came to the hotel should be married. I believed people should mind their own business and not pry. She thought the staff should be elderly and church-going. I thought they should be young and lively, and not waste time on Sunday sitting around on any hard wooden pews when you could stretch out on a white sand beach. There were church meetings in the place, which I frowned upon while downing good Jamaican rum. Mother wanted to bring in the old English atmosphere, retired gents whose country had no use for them anymore, and she found them. There are plenty such in Jamaica. I have nothing against old age, per se, being not far from it myself. But the folks she brought to the hotel were so ancient they creaked. Mother, you felt, would have liked a bell captain around with an ear trumpet, his own pair of crutches, or a wheelchair which he hid in a corner when not in use. Piously, she was opposed to a bar. Imagine a hotel without a bar. How do you expect people to be able to go to sleep at nights, drinking water? You might just as well convert the establishment into a morgue. For a time, as Mother's views prevailed, the characteristic guests were about 70. The gentleman usually had a white mustache, except for that portion of it which was yellowed by age and soup. These folks were so decrepit that they could keep you awake at night, dropping dead in the corridors and the rooms. Thud, thud. My dough was in this hotel, and I wanted young people around. Vitality and music, the mango walk, calypso, bebop, and rock and roll, dancing and life. For we were here this once only this once. So let there be gaiety and joking and clowning, hoaxing and capering, romance and sport and rafting on the Rio Grande, and laughter and the good life till the eyes closed in sleep at night. While I was in the States, I received a letter from Mother saying that on the Boston property there was a beautiful old church bell. The bell needed to be restored to its proper place, swinging and ringing in a belfry. The community needed to hear the bell on Sunday. It was my duty, she said. Would I therefore send the money to build it? Though not much of a church-going man, it seemed to me that I could do this to placate Mother, my eternal will-o'-the-wisp pursuit of trying to please her. If people wanted to go to church and could find nothing better to do on Sunday, then let them. I said yes. She sent a letter telling me how happy the local community leaders were at this gesture. I felt a surge of religion coming on. I figured that this ought to come to about $150, but when I got the bill, I almost choked. It was for about $5,000. There must be some mistake. This must be for the belfry of Notre Dame or of St. Paul's in London, not for the little old ruin in our estate. I was so upset about this bill that I decided it was worth making a special trip to Jamaica to hassle it out. That, or I was willing to travel 6,000 miles to fight with my mother. I wasn't sure which. In my incessant quest for the dangerous way to do things, I bought a small Navion plane. I flew it with my associate, Barry Mahone, from California right across the American continent to Nassau to Cuba, and down to Jamaica. This was, for a single-engine plane, a feat. Naturally, going across deserts, landing at little unfamiliar airports, passing over great expanses, was much to put a small plane through. Each time you lighted on some dinky airstrip and got up again, it was a hazard. At one place, I opened the door to get out. As I did, a bottle of vodka fell out and crashed at the feet of the airport officials. Drinking is against the rules for aeronautical people. It was a tense moment, but I explained that it was only water, and as vodka has no smell, I got away with it. Barry and I, alternating at the controls, reached Cuba. He was an expert flyer, a Spitfire pilot with World War II experience. Now came the flight from there to Jamaica. The plan was to land at Montego Bay, the western end of the island. We started a little late, and as we made our way through the skies, we could see the sun lowering rapidly, twilight settling in, with Jamaica still considerably distant. It was my turn to pilot. I was flying on beam ADF. I couldn't get a signal, nor could I see the island. The sun was just above the horizon. That meant about 10 more minutes of flying time before darkness. I didn't know the Montego Bay airport from a flying standpoint. Neither did Barry. And the same thoughts hit us at the same time. Over the Caribbean in a single motor job, no land in sight, no way of turning back, no automatic direction finder, no Coast Guard around. Below, the waters of the dreaded White Shark. I began to sweat. Barry asked for a cigarette, and he doesn't smoke. In that brief twilight that you have in the tropics, I saw a small dark blur far ahead. Minutes went by. Could we make it before it was dark? Obviously, we couldn't. It would be a night landing in an unknown airport. The sun settled swiftly, and there it was, night, though the island was big now and unlighted. Barry smoked his cigarette so far down it burned his fingers, and he lit another. We speculated what to do. "Any idea where this airport is?" I asked, my voice overloud. "Me? No. Let's go on to see what we can do." Over Montego Bay, I should have been able to see the landing field, but there was no light. I thought I recognized some of the promontories. Vague outlines of the depot structures. We circled, but dared not go too low. Again we went around. Barry, on the radio, tried to reach Kingston or Montego Bay. Not a word, not a sound. No reply back. No radio. Pitch darkness, silence. "For Christ's sake," said Barry, "we're out of gas, too." In a minute or two, we'd have to go down anyway, one way or the other. "We'll ditch in the water," I said. "Our best bet, sport. Maybe we can swim to shore." At that instant, there was a blaze of lights all over the airport. It took a bit of altitude. Looked down. They were rebuilding the airport, and there were 3 big bulldozers right in the place where I had to land. Even so, I must come down. We zoomed down. The building zoomed up. I put the plane down, the wheels just skirting to the side of those bulldozers. We climbed out pretty shaken. "What's the use kidding ourselves?" Barry said. "I got out of 3 rough spots in my Spitfire, but this was worse." It helped that we had been circling, and by the grace of God, or the help of Lady Luck, an old colored man saw us, and though the airport was closed for the night, he figured there was a plane in trouble and took it on his own responsibility to switch on the lights. I send this old boy a present every year.